And nice and dry this evening across West Alabama. Sunshine back for the weekend. Your local forecast here in just a few minutes.
And the death toll as Hurricane Helene has topped 200, and that number is continuing to rise. We have the latest number. And a popular park in West Tuscaloosa is getting some major renovations. WVUA 23 News at 10 starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News at 10.
And we're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. In tonight's top story, we're still following the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. As of today, at least 218 people have died and hundreds are still unaccounted for across 6 states since Helene made landfall in Florida on September 26. More than a week later, some residents and communities remain isolated. Hundreds of thousands are without power, and spotty service has made communication difficult. Rescue crews are hindered by cell service outage and impassable roads and bridges. And the Walker County Sheriff's Office Aviation Division is ready to assist in the Appalachian Mountains with search and rescue operations and to deliver much needed help to the devastated regions of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Eastern Tennessee. Captain Ray Capps and other aviation unit members will lead the team in the coming days if needed. Well, as communities in the path of Helene struggle to comprehend the damage left behind by the devastating storm, lawmakers are calling for action to help FEMA bring relief. This after other storms are brewing in the tropics. Leo Waltman has more on what's been done already to help people impacted by Helene.
This disaster in western North Carolina is catastrophic.
Nearly a week after Hurricane Helene came ashore, cutting a path of destruction across 6 states, President Joe Biden toured the wreckage Wednesday alongside North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
I approve the request of Governor Cooper for the federal government to cover 100% of all the costs for debris removal.
This after Biden suggested he would be open to calling Congress back from its recess for a special session to pass a supplemental relief bill. Last week, Biden signed a 3-month stopgap government funding bill in which Congress did appropriate $20 billion to FEMA, but some fear that will not be enough.
Well, all federal spending is about priorities and look at the swath and the breadth of the damage across so many states. But it'll take a while. It'll take 30 days or more for them to assess that. But Congress will have to address it.
As we look at the infrastructure damages to water, to the cell lines, to power, the ability to get those turned back on is going to be complicated just by the way Appalachia is configured.
Already, more than 3,500 federal personnel are helping in the recovery efforts. FEMA also delivered a cargo plane full of food, water, and emergency supplies to Asheville, North Carolina, Tuesday.
We know that this is going to be a sustained operation.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
And speaking of the weather, we saw some rain earlier this evening. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here. And Richard, what can we expect this weekend?
Hey, Jabari, going to be hot and dry this weekend. Right now, not too bad outside. 72 in Tuscaloosa, 68 Jasper, 71 currently in Linden. And across the region, we've got a cloudy sky from Jasper and Fayette Point south. North of there, some clear skies over North Alabama. Mostly sunny for our Saturday. Going to be a hot day. We're back in the upper 80s by the afternoon hours. And the complete weekend, more upper 80s on Sunday. Now, it will cool off next week. We've got some big-time weather changes coming up, but unfortunately, no rain at all. We could use more rain across central and west Alabama. We'll look at those numbers here in just a few minutes. Jabari.
Richard, thank you. After a 4-day strike, port workers were back on the job today. This after the tentative deal was reached. The union agreed to extend its contract with the Maritime Alliance to January 15th of next year. The original contract expired Monday. This new agreement includes an annual $4 per hour raise for the 6-year contract. An outstanding issue is restriction regarding the use of fully automated equipment in the workplace. The tentative deal still needs to be completed and ratified by the ILA, rank, and file members. Well, the Alabama Fire College is hoping to address the shortage of EMS services in the state. WVUA 23's Tori Stenser joins us live to tell us just how they're planning to do just that. Tori, good evening.
Good evening, Jabari. The Alabama Fire College is planning a multi-million-dollar expansion in an effort to combat the growing shortage of emergency medical technicians and paramedics across the state.
The Alabama Fire College is planning a $14 million expansion to address statewide fire and EMS shortages. This shortage is a result of a wave of retirements coupled by increasing emergency medical service demands. The expansion will include new classrooms, high-tech simulation labs, and a focus on hybrid learning, aiming to increase training access to rural communities.
So one of the problems is access to EMS or EMS facilities. And so we've identified that as a shortfall in the rural communities in the state of Alabama. And one of the great things with technology, and young kids they're very familiar with the technology, they're very comfortable with that form of education. So we've developed programs that would allow them to sign up for our EMT courses and EMT advanced courses and do that in the comfort of their own homes.
The expansion will also help the Alabama Fire College keep up with enrollment after seeing a record-setting enrollment class in 2024.
And so really our goal is to set those that come after us up for the future for expansion so that we grow our programs, we provide adequate training so people operate safely and effectively, and then deliver appropriate care to our citizens of Alabama.
The expansion plans are in the research phase and are expected to be proposed for the 2025-2026 state budget.
The 25 and the 2026 budget is being debated, and this Fire College project, the expansion will be a priority, and it should be a priority for all the House members and all the state senators as well, because it serves every corner of this great state.
Jabari, Senator Allen said once the budget for the expansion is approved, the expansion itself will likely take between 2 and 3 years to complete.
3. Thank you.
And Tuscaloosa City leaders held a groundbreaking ceremony for the renovation of Burrell Odom Park. This park has been part of the West End community for years and was renamed back in 2015 after the late Tuscaloosa City Councilman Burrell Odom. Today marks the revival of the place that was a vision for the neighborhood.
Oh, it means everything. I mean, this park has been, has needed so much renovations done over the years, and it's a community park, and we want it to be a place where people can come and gather and have fun and just interact with one another.
Now, this park is scheduled to be updated and ready for children by 2025. Well, Congresswoman Terry Sewell was in Fairfield today. She presented an $850,000 check to Miles College and President Bobby Knight to improve safety within the campus and surrounding community. The funding will increase lighting on campus, upgrade security cameras, invest in broadband-enabled security devices, and pay for new public safety vehicles. Well, the annual Beat Auburn Beat Hunger started today, and this is a friendly competition between the University of Alabama and Auburn University. Leading up to the Iron Bowl game, the competition raises donations for the West Alabama Food Bank and the Food Bank of East Alabama. WVUA 23's Paisley Roberts has more.
This is a 7-week-long food drive where students and faculty can bring in food donations or donate money. All of the donations collected from the University of Alabama will go to the West Alabama Food Bank, and all of the donations Auburn collects will go to the East Alabama Food Bank.
Although it's a competition, it's a friendly competition, at the end of the day, we're just trying to beat hunger and really try to raise the most amount of money and food for the state of Alabama as a whole.
There will be barrels set up around campus for the next 7 weeks so students can drop off donations donations. Collecting will end on November 21st, just in time for the Iron Bowl. There has been $1,000 raised so far, but Hahn expects physical donations to start pouring in soon.
So we take it directly towards the West Alabama Food Bank, and they store it, and a lot of times they'll disperse it to other smaller food pantries or smaller food banks, or just kind of throughout the community to people who need them.
Alabama falls behind other states when it comes to food insecurity, so Hahn says doing fundraisers throughout the year can help change that. Local in Tuscaloosa, Paisley Roberts, WVUA 23 News.
Well, Monday, Governor Kay Ivey kicks off the campaign at the state capitol. Well, another week of Football Friday tonight at 10:30. Our sports team is back in our newsroom from covering high school games from all over the area. Our game of the week is Hillcrest at Tuscaloosa County High. We have highlights from Hueytown at Northridge and Sipsey Valley at Northside. We were also at the Selma and Hill County game and Fairfield and Hope. That is tonight at 10:30. Well, coming up, Stillman College is getting ready for its National Night Out. We'll tell you how you can participate. And it's that time of year again for the annual Toys for Tots. Find out how you can get involved. Those stories and more when we come back. And the 77th annual Tuscaloosa Toys for Tots application will soon be open. Applications will be accepted beginning at midnight on October 15th and will remain open until all slots are filled. Sponsors ask those who complete an application to use their real name, a valid email address, and a working phone number. Just visit tuscaloosa-al.toysfortots.org to apply. Well, attendance at Focus 50 Plus in Northport has increased since it opened in June, but there's still room for more people to join. Focus 50 Plus holds weekly events for citizens over the age of 50 and serves meals daily for people over 60. Now, there was not much participation when the program started, but they've added new events to bring more people in. Now, these events include bingo, Bible studies, technology tutoring, and birthday parties. Now, visitors love that they can come and make new friends.
Focus 50 Plus has a huge impact on someone's life. We offer meals. They can be impacted in many ways based on their needs. We help avoid loneliness when they come to the centers. There's so many things that are of value to someone's life.
Now, there's still plenty of room for new people to come to these events and have a meal. Now, Harshman says new members to come around 9:30 a.m. so they can fellowship before lunch. Well, the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office has a new position available. They're looking to hire a part-time animal control officer. This position was just added to the budget this year. Now, there are currently 2 full-time officers and 1 part-time officer, but there's a need for 1 more person. The Sheriff's Office says there are a lot of animal control calls every day, so hiring someone part-time will help a lot. Now, there's a wide range of calls such as injured animals and animal cruelty cases.
And then what we have in the county is called dogs running at large. You know, there's certain rules and regulations that you have for dogs being on a leash or fenced in, not just running around freely. And then you also have the issues with dog bites, which falls under what we call the Emily's Law. So they have a lot of things that they do. And so adding another person, even part-time, is going to be extremely helpful.
Now, if you are interested in this position, just go by the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office and start that application process. We're over at Stillman College is opening campus to the Tuscaloosa community next week. The HBCU will have its third national night out on Tuesday. Admission is free, and there will be live entertainment along with children's activities. This event will run from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m.
And warm and dry for our Saturday. We're back in the upper 80s by mid-afternoon. Look at those numbers and that 7-day coming up next. Hear my forecast every day on Rock 106.3 FM. And all dry across the region tonight. This is a live view from the Algo traffic camera down in Utah over in Greene County. Conditions looking pretty good out there on the roadways. No problems happening tonight in terms of weather hazards. Let's go to our Tuscaloosa camera. This is at Bryant-Denny Stadium looking off towards the north direction. Temperature currently at 72 right now in Tuscaloosa. Doppler radar nice and quiet out there this evening. I noticed a lack of rainfall. That is ground clutter around the radar site out there. But tonight, no chance for rain locally. 71 right now in Linden, 72 in Tuscaloosa. Put on the satellite composite here. And the radar had a lot of rain over South Alabama earlier this morning into this afternoon. Even one little downpour came right through the Tuscaloosa Northport areas. But again, just about everybody else missing out on the rain today. Here's that forecast for Saturday. It's going to be a hot day. Now, the morning hours, not too bad, around 65 at 7 a.m. 83 by lunchtime, up to 88 by mid-afternoon for tomorrow. This is our Futurecast model, the clouds and radar. Notice the lack of rainfall for our Saturday. Mostly sunny out there. And Sunday, also mostly sunny, a nice start to the day, but turning quite warm Sunday afternoon. We are back in those upper 80s. So look at that forecast for the weekend. Yeah, mostly sunny, hot, dry for the weekend. Saturday as well as on Sunday. Light northeast wind around 5 miles per hour. In terms of rain, though, again, no rainfall at all for quite some time. This is the 7-day rain forecast. I mean, we are talking all dry, and it is October. Now, this is the time of the year where we typically don't get a lot of rain here in Alabama. Now, let's look at the tropics. Got a hurricane. This is Kirk out here in the Atlantic, and also Leslie now becoming a Category 1 storm. Kirk still a Category 4 heading out to sea. Leslie will follow the trail of that and also head northward. Kirk not as well organized as was earlier, but still an impressive Category 4 hurricane. Also in the Gulf of Mexico, watching a feature here that will likely become a tropical storm over the coming days. We've been watching this goodness for like a week now, so it's one of those deals where it's been a slow developmental process, but we're beginning to see signs of this thing really develop now. We got a 70% chance for this becoming a tropical storm or hurricane over the Gulf of Mexico. This is going towards Florida, the peninsula of Florida, not the Panhandle. I think it comes into the Tampa area, potentially somewhere in that zone across west central Florida by Wednesday or Thursday of next week, something we will carefully monitor. In terms of the temperatures locally, though, quite hot for Saturday and Sunday, upper 80s here. We will see a quick drop-off, though, by Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs in those upper 70s overnight, lows in the 50s, low 50s. That's going to be pretty nice out there as well. So again, no rain expected for tonight. Locally, we're going to be dry. And for the Bama game, Bama taking on Vandy over in Nashville. We got temperatures in the mid-80s for that. 3:15 kickoff. And Auburn taking on Georgia in Athens. 2:30 kick. Look for temperatures in the lower 80s throughout the game there as well. So here's your 7 days. Going to be a hot weekend. Temperatures back in the upper 80s on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be in the upper 70s next week, though, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even on Friday. So again, we've got some hot weather in the short term, but much better coming in beginning Monday night. That's when you'll feel that a pretty good air mass change, Jabari. So we'll be in the 50s at night for several nights next week.
Right.
So this isn't just a one day it's nice, then it's back to summertime. This is going to last for several days.
I'm loving it.
And the hurricane, if there's a hurricane in the Gulf, tropical storm or hurricane, that will help enhance that cooler air
Right.
for us. Now, we don't want bad news for Florida, but on the flip side of that, it'll help cool us off a bit.
All right, Richard, thank you. Stick around. Gary Harris is next with sports.
All right, Alabama departing this afternoon for Nashville. They took the buses from the Malmore Complex over to the airport, then flew into Music City. Ryan Williams, a great freshman. I tell you what, he's something else. So is Jalen Milroe, quarterback. Some say he's the Heisman favorite. And Alabama, of course, ranked #1 this week. More Alabama players, including defensive lineman Tim Keenan, right there, striking a little pose. He has been a terrific interior force on that defensive line. The team buses pulled off and headed, like I said, to the airport. They're already in Nashville now, and I'm sure probably getting ready for bed check. It's about that time as they've got that game tomorrow afternoon against Vanderbilt. And good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Harris, TGIF. Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee has studied the explosive plays that Alabama made against Georgia. He understands full well the level of athleticism his defense will be up against, but expects his players to be right in the defensive positions to try to make those plays.
You know, I don't want to look up on Saturday and see, you know, situations come up where, you know, we have one-on-one shots and there's no one in the vicinity to help. You know, we need to make sure not only are we in dominant position on those routes, but that whoever is meant to be the second man in is both tightening the window that the quarterback has to throw the ball and helping to down the ball in situations where there's a circus catch made and the receiver stays on his feet.
And much more on that game coming up on Football Friday at 10:30. Now it's time for Tide TV's Christopher England to have much more on tomorrow afternoon's matchup in Nashville between Vanderbilt and #1 ranked Alabama in his weekly in-depth Alabama football preview.
Newly ranked #1 Alabama travels to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. The Crimson Tide have won 23 in a row over the Commodores, and Vanderbilt has defeated the Tide just twice in the last 68 years, with their last win coming back in 1984. The last matchup between the two schools was in 2022 as the Tide rolled to a 55-3 win in Tuscaloosa. The last trip to Nashville for the Tide was a 59-0 win back in 2017. The Commodores enter this year's matchup 2-2. Vanderbilt got a big win in Week 1 over Virginia Tech, a 34-27 win in overtime. After a 55-0 rout of Alcorn State, the Commodores dropped a 36-32 decision to Georgia State in Atlanta. Vanderbilt bounced back the following week, almost upsetting 7th-ranked Missouri, down by 3 in the second overtime. Vandy had a chance to tie it and send it into a third overtime, but the 31-yard field goal attempt went wide left as the Commodores' upset bid fell just short. Vanderbilt is 5th in the SEC in scoring offense, averaging 37 points per game. That's up over 15 points per game from last season. A big part of that has been due to the transfer from New Mexico State, quarterback Diego Pavia. Pavia has thrown for 721 yards and 6 touchdowns and is also the Commodores' leading rusher, averaging over 69 yards per game, on pace to set the all-time single-season rushing record for a Vandy quarterback. Pavia is also the only SEC starting quarterback to have not thrown an interception this season. Pavia's favorite target has been tight end Eli Stowers. He also played last season with Pavia at New Mexico State, and he leads the team with 19 receptions for 220 yards and a touchdown. Vandy has been strong in the red zone, scoring on 18 of their 19 trips inside the 20, with 14 of those being touchdowns. The Commodores have protected the ball well as they fumbled only once for their only turnover on the season, and they are also tied for 3rd in the SEC in turnover margin with the Crimson Tide at +3. The Commodores will be looking for their first ever win over the #1 ranked team. Kickoff in Nashville is scheduled for 3:15 on SEC Network. Reporting from the Crimson Tide Production Studio inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, I'm Christopher England with Tide TV.
And sunny and hot this weekend, upper 80s on Saturday and Sunday. No chance for rain this weekend. Next week it'll be dry but turning noticeably cooler Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday.
All right, Richard, thank you. But don't go anywhere because Football Friday is next. Our sports director, Gary Harris, will have a full hour, so don't go anywhere. Have a great weekend.